How y'all doing? Tonight we're going to do one of my favorite little throw together dishes. We just got back from the coast. We were down there for New Year's Eve, so we brought back some seafood with us, some shrimp. I was looking through my cabinets, got a lot of tomato sauce. I had diced tomatoes and stuff, so we're going to make a sauce piquante tonight. And what that basically is a spicy red sauce with, you can put shrimp in it, you can put deer meat, you can put chicken. A lot of people make chicken sauce piquante. You can put duck in it, you can put whatever you want to. But it's really good. It's similar to a Creole, but not quite. So it's just another one of our, Southern Cajun type gravy dishes where you incorporate some seafood or some wild game or either some chicken or something, and you make a really tasty dish. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And one of the key things about this dish with the red sauce that makes it a little different, it's a red sauce with a roux. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on a roux here. Okay, my little fry pan over here, I've got about a cup, about 3/4 of a cup of olive oil, plus I've got probably a 1/4 cup of butter. I'm going to add a cup of flour. Now really, you definitely probably not going to need this much roux, since I'm making the side pot, and this sauce is going to have a lot of vegetables and stuff like that in there. I just want to make sure, so I have a little extra roux. We're just going to add this roux to taste or to thickness, and that way we can thicken it up more or less, whatever we need. You can always, just have your little extra roux, and that's not much since we're not using butter. We're using olive oil. I don't mind wasting a little bit if I got to, but I'm going to go ahead and get this roux mixed up and get it started. Now, as you can see, I got that roux mixed up, and I got my little roux stirrer in there. And what that is, like I said, it's a cup of flour and a cup of olive oil, a little butter in there. And we're just going to let that go on about a medium heat. We're not looking for a dark roux, but we're just cooking that flour in that oil. And next up, I got this pot over here. I've got a coated iron pot. And I'm letting this, I've got about a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil in there. Now I'm going to put some Trinity. And what's Trinity is bell pepper, onions, and celery. And basically, I normally chop it up myself, but I found out from some friends of mine there on the internet, you can get this stuff frozen. It saves you a lot of trouble when you're in a pinch. And it's not. You can go ahead and put, that was about 8 ounces of Trinity in that bag, and this is a full bag here, so this is about 12 ounces. Go ahead and put all that Trinity in here, and we'll go ahead and get that sauteed. Oh yeah, also, sauce piquante, it means a hot red sauce, like I said, so I've chopped up some peppers, some fresh green peppers. I'm going to go ahead and put them in there, and let them saute there, cook a little bit with that Trinity. So we'll let this Trinity cook for a few minutes. Alright, now these vegetables have been cooking. I covered them up for about 2-3 minutes. Water's starting to come out of them. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got some tomato paste here. This is about 3/4 of a can of tomato paste. One of those small cans. I'm going to add some of this tomato paste here. The reason I'm adding this tomato paste so early is it's important that tomato paste cooks and sauteed so the sweet properties of the tomatoes will come on out of there. So I'm going to add this tomato paste. Just stir it up in here. I'm going to let it cook for a little bit with this this Trinity. Let's see. Get it broken up in there. Well, I didn't have to break it up. I could let it just sit in the middle, but I don't want anything to burn this pot. Also, what I may want to go ahead and add now is I got some of this sausage, just this deer sausage right here. This sausage, it's got a little fat in it, so I want this fat to render on down. This will help give some flavor. So that's probably about I'd say 1/3 of a pound, maybe a little less, maybe a little more deer sausage there. I'm just let that hang out and let that cook with those vegetables for about 2, 3, 4 more minutes. Alright, it's been a couple minutes. We'll go ahead and add some of my seasoning. I've got about a teaspoon, a little more than a teaspoon, slap your mama hot. I've got a teaspoon of oregano, teaspoon of basil, and a tablespoon of garlic. Go ahead and add all that in there. Stir it around. Some good flavor. Oh, you can just smell it now. Alright. Also, have a small carton of mushrooms. Slice. Put them in it. Let them go around. Get everything coated. Alright. Now that's all coated up, I've got some red wine over here. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon. Got just a glass of it. I'm going to pour some of it in there. May not pour it all right now. It's going to be about, just about half glass. Maybe pour a little bit more. There we go. Let that wine get in there and it's going to cook down with all that goodness. Oh man, it smells wonderful. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of that glass of wine. Like I said, it's about a cup of wine and all. Because it's going to do nothing but cook. Cook down, down, down. So let this cook a couple more minutes. Oh, meanwhile, let's check on that roux. See, that roux's still pretty blonde. We want to get about a medium caramel color before we put that roux in here and we start thickening things up. Okay, this onion and celery and bell pepper and the mushroom and the sausage, everything's really starting to cook down some, but my roux's not quite ready to thicken up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and add some tomatoes. Got some petite petite diced tomatoes. Okay, and I drain the juice off of that can. Go ahead and add 2 cans of those. Alright. We'll stir these in there and let them start just simmering in there. Like I said, we're on almost to medium heat on my stove, but you know, whatever, medium low heat, what I would suggest right now. So I'm going to go ahead and stir this in and we'll wait on that roux. When the roux turns a caramel color, we're going to start moving on over to the next step. Alright, now this roux is just about the color that I want to get. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to this sauce. I'll add not the whole roux, I'm going to just go ahead and make sure I got everything in here. Scrape all around the bottom. Get it good. This roux is a little thinner now, like I should have had a little bit more flour. But, you know, it's going to thicken up a little bit when it gets there in that all that juice. Okay, so you want to make sure you stir it really good. Go ahead and add about half of it there. Alright. I'm going to set over here off the heat, the rest of the roux. I'm going to really stir this in. And it should start thickening up. See, it's thickening up pretty good. What I'm going to do now, go ahead and add the rest of this and stir this around a little bit more. I'll add about another quarter of it or so. Oh, what the heck, we'll just now. Alright, we got about a third of it left. Maybe a quarter of it left. But you know, you just add it to taste. What I want this to look like a thick, almost not like mashed potatoes, but you want it to look really thick because I'm about to add some liquids to it. Okay, but you got to add cold liquids to it now. All right, that's real thick. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more. Make sure it don't get too thin. And start coming up with some of my liquids. And what I've got here, I've got 3 cups of shrimp broth. And I did this with these shells. I boiled the shells when I hold all these shrimp. And I made 3 cups of shrimp broth. So I'm going to add this a little bit at a time. Switch hands here. So you can see how it's going to get thinner once we add all this. You can really smell this shrimp in this broth. So I'm going to keep hitting this broth a little bit by a little bit. And I'll come right back to you as soon as I get it all added in there. Okay, so I got all 3 cups of that broth added in. Well, I have one thing that you definitely don't have to put. It's not a traditional ingredient in the sauce piquante. I just like mine a little richer, so I've got about 1/2 cup of whipping cream, not heavy whipping cream, just whipping cream. I'm gonna add some of it here. I just like it to be a creamy taste, but you definitely don't have to add that. That's just my personal preference, and you can do it however you want. Now, you see how we got this little consistency here. We're at the point now we'll have to let this sauce cook on low. We'll turn on down to low for an hour. Sit here and simmer. At least an hour. So the question is now, do we add a shrimp? Well, some people want to go ahead and add them, but I don't particularly want to add them right now because I don't want to get overcooked. So I'm going to wait about 30 minutes to add the shrimp. But what I am going to add right now, I add some green onions. Okay, that's just one little stalk of green onions. Now I've got some parsley, chopped up parsley I had. I'm going to add some parsley to it. I'm going to stir that in, and we're going to cover this and let it simmer on low for an hour. I'm going to check it every about 15 minutes and give it a little stir. Okay, it's been simmering away for about 6 minutes now. I'm just going to check for the first time, just make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom and see how we're doing on heat. It doesn't look like anything's sticking at all. I want to go ahead and add about a tablespoon, no, not quite a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Let's give it a little kick there. I'm going to stir it just a little bit. Okay. I may, turn my heat up just a little bit because I do want it barely bubbling. You want it to simmer. So I'm going to go ahead and stir it. I'm going to cap it off and I'm going to check it in about another 10 minutes. Okay, the first 30 minutes have gone by. Go ahead now. What you want to do, the main thing, you want to check your sauce before we're going to add our shrimp. Put this pot over here, lid. So I tasted it. Like I said, it tastes pretty good to me. It's not too spicy. It's a good taste, but we're going to add this big old about 3 pounds of shrimp. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit more flavor to it because those shrimp will need some flavor. I'm going to add me a little bit of this Old Bay seasoning. That's about a teaspoon. I'll also add another teaspoon or half a teaspoon to Slap Your Mama. About that much, okay. I'm gonna add a little bit of this crab boil. No, this is totally optional. I'm gonna add about a quarter of this capful. Just a little bit right there. All right. I'm gonna stir that in. I'm gonna add these shrimp. I said this is about, I think this is about 3 pounds of shrimp. maybe 2.5, not quite 3. Okay. There's another thing you notice, the sauce is a little bit thick. It's going to thin out with those shrimp being in there because they're going to cook at this point in the game. Also, I saved a little bit of that roux over here. I took it off the heat and just saved a little ramekin in case at the end the sauce is just too thin. We can use that little bit of roux to thicken it back up again. So go ahead and fold these shrimp in here. I'm going to put the top back on and let this cook another 30 minutes. Of course, I'm going to check it every 5 to 10 minutes to stir it, make sure nothing's burning on the bottom. Okay, we're right where we need to be on the sauce piquante. You can just see it's the perfect consistency for serving over rice. You got the shrimp, you got the sausage, you got your mushrooms, everything in there. Now I'm going to just serve this right alongside a bed of rice. You can serve it on noodles if you want to. Whatever your preference is. But it's a really, really good dish and you really need to try. So next time you're looking to make something with a little bit of tomato sauce, some seafood, or any kind of food you got, chicken, wild game, any kind of protein, go ahead and try to make you some sauce piquante.